And right as the watchdog says, it has no confidence that children like Malachi are more likely to be seen. Oranga Tamariki is pulling $14 million of funding for its Family Start program, which checks on kids in at-risk homes. Dr. Nicole Coupe is a chair of Family Start Collective. Morena, Dr. Coupe, and thank you so much for being with us this morning. Kia ora. $14 million in cuts, how much of an impact is that going to have?
Morena, Jenny May. Ngā mihi ki whaitai katoa, whānau o Aotearoa. It's going to have a substantial impact on the whānau that we work with in our under 2-year-olds. 107 full-time peak staffing roles. Kaimahi will be no longer allocated to over 1,600 of our tamariki and their whānau.
So your organisation goes into homes, checks in on kids. What is the mandate of Family Start?
Yeah, essentially we can receive referrals from anybody, including the families themselves, to support them in their parenting. We go in at least once a week, sometimes a little bit more of late. We can spend up to 1 hour to 2 hours with the families, supporting them with anything from food to education, to immunisations, to environments and making them safe within their homes and housing. And what we've been mainly dealing with lately is family violence.
Okay, so if we take into consideration those cuts and what that will mean for staff actually getting into those homes to monitor our children, what will that mean? Will that mean that some families, some kids will miss out on the services that you provide?
There's actually already families missing out. A number of our 48 providers have already got massive wait lists, so we could actually grow our services. Unfortunately, cutting them by 25% means that we will not be able to get into some homes.
Can we, there's a statement that was given to us by Oranga Tamariki, and it says these are contracts that will expire and not be renewed. Some we have decided to reduce and others that will be increased. These decisions were made in line with priorities and the need to provide children in our care with the services they need most. How do you respond to that?
The important part about this is actually reaching these children. Some of them are actually in rural places, and we've heard that number of those providers that are in rural places are actually going to receive cuts. Now, we've got a major systemic issue in Aotearoa in the staffing and trying to get people to go and work outside of the cities and in rural centres, but that's where some of the greatest need is.
So you found out about the drop in funding. Was that on Wednesday?
Wednesday morning at 11 o'clock, we were told the full impact of the potential of losing 107 FTE, $14 million, out of a service that already provides $55 million of care across Aotearoa, with 6,000 kids being seen.
So you found that out on Wednesday morning at 11 a.m. Yesterday, the report on Malachi came out, which concluded that the child protection system in New Zealand remains inadequate. How does all this sit with you?
It sits very poorly, just like Dr. Ahmed said. We are in a system that is broken, and we're unable to see the people and reach the tamariki and the mokopuna to make a difference, because we're constantly receiving these sorts of unnerving unknowings of what's happening with our contracts. Most of those people those providers don't actually know what their contracts are going to be, and we're still waiting for this year's contracts to come out. So this is quite challenging for services that are working without puti or money at the moment.
So you've got the services themselves that are connected to Family Start, that are uncertain about the future, and then you have these families who no longer will have access to many of these services. What do you expect the outcomes to be for some of these families and for some of these kids?
Well, unfortunately, the pathway is not one that I hate to think about, to be honest. And Malachi is an example of support not able to access and be seen. The simple thing that we do within Family Start is teaching families how to parent. This is multi-generational parenting lost, and this is an opportunity for us to actually nip any potential abuse in the bud really early on. Malachi was 5. If he'd been through Family Start from the age in which we can take these babies on from hapu mama up to the age of 5, we may have been able to make a difference in Malachi's life and many other tamaraki's lives. The program within Family Start is evidently proven internationally to make a difference to reducing abuse of our tamariki.
Our understanding is that Oranga Tamariki is seeking around about $30 million in cuts, but you've been speaking to your members, and what are they saying?
Look, if we were to do a rough on the back of the envelope thing of the 48 providers I met with yesterday, it looks like a lot more than the 30 million that they're seeking, based on half of it coming out of Family Start already.
What now for Family Start? What now for those agencies that are connected to you?
I'm pretty sure we'll try to keep going for as long as the putia in our back pocket can keep going. And for those who can't, their doors will close, which means those families that are on their books will have to go elsewhere, and there isn't elsewhere.
Yeah, that's the point. There isn't elsewhere. Dr. Nicole Coupe, thank you so much for your time this morning. Kia ora. Tēnā koe. I worked with a social worker from Family Start when I was policing. We had a little unit that would work with family and with the kids, and I understand the work that they do. And the fact that there's $14 million going out of their budget, which means they can't get into these houses with these kids, is a travesty. It really, really is.